guys, what's up? Mellow Halo, Hello Mellow here. This is my second video on my channel, but this one is gonna be a bit shorter, but I believe that the quality is better, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like be better or make better videos. So thank you so much for clicking this video, and yeah. First story. So here goes the first story. Am I the asshole for selling my husband's PC setup after he didn't take me to Hawaii like he promised? I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 34M, for 6 years. For our upcoming anniversary, he promised he would go to Hawaii. We would go to Hawaii. Sorry, guys. He brought it up multiple times over the past year, told me to request time off work, and said that he was handling everything. A few weeks before our anniversary, I asked for details and he admitted he never booked anything. He said money was tight, but during the same time, he upgraded his PC setup with a new graphics card, monitor, and other accessories worth a few $1,000s. I was extremely hurt and felt lied to. I wouldn't have been as upset if he had been honest earlier, but instead he let me believe the trip was happening while spending money on himself. After a big argument, I sold his PC setup while he was at work and used the money to book a smaller trip for myself and a friend. I told him I felt the money should go towards the anniversary he promised. Now he's furious, says I crossed a huge line, and claims I had no right to sell something that was his, even though we are married and share finances. Some friends agree with him and say I acted out of spite, while others say he broke his promise and prioritized gaming over our marriage. Yeah, technically, like when you look at this, it's very easy to like point a finger at her and like say that she's the asshole, but in this situation, I'm not saying that to like take an eye for an eye in every single situation, every single negative situation in your life, but yeah, I understand like where she's coming from. So that's why I won't judge, but I don't think it's like 100% correct, but I can understand why she did this. Am I the asshole for asking my grandparents to pay me back? Okay, so for context, my grandpa won a lawsuit with his old job because of an accident that happened and because they didn't pay him workers' comp. But he didn't actually get the money until today. About 5 to 10 months ago, my grandma quit her job because her boss was an a-hole. Shortly after that, they went broke and had to ask me for money. I'm 15 and they're my family. They raised me, so I gladly gave it to them. It was a pretty large amount, around $2,000. A couple of months later, they paid me back $5,000. I'm really grateful they gave me extra, and I saved the money for a few months. Then, my grandpa asked me for more money so they could pay their taxes. I didn't really want to give it to him because I wanted to save, but he got angry that I didn't want to, so I gave in. I gave him $1,200 just for taxes, and even more for groceries. They kept saying they would pay me back when they got the money. Fast forward a couple of months, I had saved back up to a little more than $5,000. Then, my grandpa's car got repossessed. About a week after that, he started showing me cars and trying to convince me to buy one. I asked him if, since he wanted the car, he would pay me back if I bought it. He said yes. So, I bought the car and I barely even get to drive it. He's always driving it and putting extra miles on it. Plus, wearing and tearing the car and everything else. Well, I don't think they're gonna pay you back. I feel like in this situation, it's very easy to look at this person's story and be like, the first time they didn't pay you back, so why did you think that your grandpa or your grandparents like would would pay you back now. But she's 15, and this is a very clear example of someone older, especially in this situation. It's like someone from her family, so the emotional connection probably like puts more pressure in her head. Like, this is a very good example of someone being coerced. And yeah, I just feel bad for her, and I really hope that someday her grandparents can give her the money back, because $2,000, $5,000 is not a very small amount, especially for a teenager. Okay, so we are in the third story. Am I the asshole for leaving my mom's house after she denied me food? I, 22M, was staying at my mom's house for a few days. For context, our relationship has always been rocky. She is very controlling, and whenever we argue, she tends to use basic necessities as leverage. One night, we got into an argument about something small, chores and attitude. It escalated, and she told me I wasn't allowed to eat dinner. I thought she was joking at first, but she wasn't. She said, "If you can't respect me, you don't get to eat my food." She then locked herself in her room with the groceries. I hadn't eaten since early that morning. I asked if I could at least make something simple, like toast or noodles. She said no and told me to learn my lesson. After sitting there for about an hour, feeling humiliated and hungry, I packed my bags and left to stay with a friend. I didn't yell, I didn't insult her, I just left. Later that night, she texted me saying I was dramatic, disrespectful, and that I abandoned the family over one meal. Some relatives agree with her and say I should have just apologized and stayed, but others think denying food crosses a line. So, am I the a-hole for leaving my mom's house after she denied me food? Yeah, this person is clearly not the a-hole. His mom is. And I think he should also start considering cutting off the family members that sided with his mom, that is clearly abusing him or not treating him like he deserves. Just because it's not physical does not mean that it doesn't affect the person negatively. Whatever. But y'all understand the point or what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, on to the next story. Am I the asshole for not lying about wetting the bed and embarrassing my parents? Anyway, I, 18F, had a weird week around Christmas where I was having a lot of nightmares and interrupted sleep. I think what happened was that when I did fall asleep, I was sleeping really deeply because I woke up having wet the bed. This was a thing I used to do when stressed when I was little, and my parents always shamed me for accidents. Even during the day, they seemed to view me needing the bathroom as a personal inconvenience. So, anytime it happened, I set an alarm to wake up early so I could do a laundry and clean up before they noticed anything. I have a couple of friends I'm really close with, and we were talking about how we are all really stressed with college applications. One of my friends admitted her hair is falling out from stress, and we went around sharing more and more embarrassing things that have happened to us recently, until I finally said it, jokingly. Don't tell anybody, but I think I got stressed enough that I wet the bed. It turns out that one of my friends told her mom because she was worried about me, and her mom is a doctor, which is sweet. But her mom called mine, and now my parents are really angry at me for embarrassing them by keeping a secret from them. I told them I was embarrassed and afraid they'd punish me, and they said that you must not be that afraid because you are telling other people's parents. Except, I trust my friends, and honestly, I trust their parents too. My friend's mom didn't yell at me, and when I went to her house, she was really nice to me. My parents have told me I'm not allowed to see that friend outside of school until I apologize to her mom for lying. They told me I was lying for attention, except I wasn't, and I'm refusing to start lying now. I don't mean to broadcast on the internet that I wet the bed because I feel kind of like a baby, but I did. And I think it's my choice to tell whoever I want as well as to tell the truth. Am I the a-hole? So I think if you guys want to skip my opinion this time, you can skip to the next story because my opinion is gonna be very obvious. Like, this person is not the a-hole, and I feel very sad for this girl because she's going through a very stressful time of her life. I've been in that situation where I had to look for college and try to apply and look for scholarships and all. So I can understand how stressful this time can be because I've been there, done that. So I'm very sad, and it's very sad to see that her parents are more concerned about their image instead of being preoccupied with the fact that she's peeing herself due to stress. You know how serious the situation gotta be for you to pee yourself because you are so stressed. But everyone seems to be ignoring that issue, only focusing. This is very sad. So I hope that the other support system, like her friends and her friends' parents, can help her throughout this situation. Let's move to a more light-hearted story so we can relax a bit more. I think this one is gonna make you guys mad, but not as mad as the two previous stories. Am I the a-hole for telling my girl I won't do the dishes anymore if she keeps double-checking my work? We moved in together last month. She likes to cook and is good at it. So our original agreement was she would cook and I would do the dishes. That's fair, except that every single time I did the dishes, she would pretty much check on my work, like following me behind after I start the load, and sometimes she would unload it and reload it in the way she thought it was appropriate. And whenever I was hand washing, she always insisted in being there and inspecting everything that wasn't up to her standard. So I finally had enough and told her that I won't be doing dishes anymore if that's how things will go. Or I can cook for myself and do my own dishes that she won't get to touch. She can have her separate dishes. She said she was just trying to be helpful and that I was rude and sort of an a-hole for what I said and the way I said it. I don't think he's the a-hole, guys. I think the first time this wouldn't happen multiple times to me. I'm doing the dishes or I'm doing something very simple, like cleaning. I think that every adult or most adults are very capable of cleaning without supervision, and someone kept following me around, and I was not doing anything wrong. It's just they wanted me to do it in a different way. I think this wouldn't go past the first time for me. Would turn into a very big argument. So yeah, I don't think he's the a-hole, and I actually think he suggested a very smart solution, and everyone can have their own stuff, so you do not need to worry about how I do the dishes. Anyways, next story. Am I the a-hole for excluding my brother from a fun event because his wife talks too much? I, 21F, I'm having a game night. And I would love for my brother, 33M, to attend, but do not enjoy the company of his wife, 30F. Not because she's a bad person, but because she has no ability to control herself in a social setting. She not only dominates any conversation and is very loud, she also rarely asks anyone questions about themselves without immediately jumping on what they're saying to make it about her. Unfortunately, due to her behavior, I have to exclude my brother from this event and likely future events because there is no way that he would show up without her, which is fair. My brother has been married for a year. This is not new behavior from her, and I have discussed it with him. He says he knows that it is annoying or disruptive and that he has talked to her about it. but nothing seems to change. This happens at dinners, family gatherings, etc. I have to specifically seek him out alone if I want to talk to him at all. If they are together, she cannot stop talking for both of them, and he can't get a word in. I understand it's probably anxiety, and she claims to be going to a therapist for the past couple of years, but I just don't know if there's anything more I can do without being rude. Here is where I may be an asshole. I'm inviting some cousins and some of my close friends to game night. They live much further than my brother and his wife. They live in my city. I have not told them, but I'm concerned about them finding out and being hurt by. I'd like the chance for everyone to participate in a conversation. Last time she was at a game night, she delayed people's turns because she wouldn't stop talking and was practically yelling over people trying to participate in the game about unrelated things. Am I the a-hole for excluding them of her behavior? I don't think she's the asshole. I think I would have done the same if I was in her situation. There's nothing that I hate the most than people that do not have social cues, because at the end of the day, we live in a society and you have to be mindful about the people that are around you. You know, your freedom ends where the other person's freedom begins. So I would have done the exact same. It's very sad that her brother, who is not like that, is being excluded because of somebody else's behavior, but he was the one who married her. So yeah. Next story. Am I the a-hole for shouting and scaring a kid? I, 22, was at university with my family, taking photos ahead of graduation. Many other graduating students were there, some of whom I recognized, some I didn't. I was posing for a photo with flowers and a teddy bear when it happened. I saw a kid, probably 6 or 7, sorry, walk onto the road, and then I saw an incoming car. So I shouted, and his parents were taking photos of his brother. "Car, grab the kid!" They glanced at me and turned around. Fortunately, the car stopped a couple of meters before he would have hit the kid. He seemed pretty scared though, quite upset. His mom said that there was no need to shout and that obviously the car wasn't moving that quickly since the driver braked in time. Yeah, I don't think you were the a-hole for trying to save someone's life. I think some people are just ungrateful, and at the end of the day, she prefers having a scared kid rather than one that it's like not with us anymore. So I don't think you were the a-hole for trying to literally not get someone unalive. So you did the right thing. This one is a bit deep too. Am I the a-hole for telling the daughter I put up for adoption I don't own her anything? I, 38F, had got pregnant at 17. I knew I couldn't keep her at the time, and it was with an older man. My oldest sister had adopted my daughter, raised her, and moved out of state. I had never been close with her, and to be honest, I liked it the way it was. It was a difficult decision and a traumatic experience. I went on to be a pediatrician, and my husband and I adopted our first child, who is now 4. And then, after thinking I could no longer conceive, we got pregnant with our second, who is now a little over 1. My sister passed away a few months ago, in which I did send flowers and attended the funeral. That was the first time seeing my daughter in 11 years. About 3 days later, she showed up at my door and wanted to talk. I agreed to, and she came in. We discussed life and how she's been and such. I hadn't heard of her since. I hadn't heard or seen her since. A week ago, she called me asking for money or to come live with us that rent was impossible, and she recently found out she was pregnant. I told her I was sorry that I couldn't do that. Space-wise, it would be a tight fit. and I really just wasn't comfortable with it. She got upset and said she knew I had the money too, and I owed her that much. I got angry and said I don't owe you anything and hung up the phone. Word got out and got around to the family. My mother took her in, and now my parents are upset with me. I don't really mind that, except my mother making a comment on how I abandoned her again. My husband tells me to ignore them, mute their messages, but this makes me feel guilty. Am I the a-hole? Well, I don't think I have any type of opinion in regards to this story, because I really cannot imagine what it is like to be in this situation, being the mom who had to be strong enough to give her own daughter up for adoption, and being the daughter who just lost her mother figure, which was her aunt, and now. So I don't know if how you guys perceive this type of situation. So I would be very happy to read in the comments below how you guys would deal with this situation. Yeah. So unfortunately, this is gonna be the last story on today's video. So right now I'm just gonna say thank you for watching my video, for clicking in this very unknown channel. I know how hard it is to try new things, so thank you so much for clicking on my video. I just want to say that I'm still learning how to do this content creation thing. I'm still learning how to edit, how to actually make good voiceovers, and I'm trying to better my setup. Actually, I lost one of my cards so yeah, but still I'm gonna try to find a way of buying more stuff, because I feel like my content is very dependent on aesthetics, because I don't think it makes much sense for you to enter a very relaxed and chill channel and the setup is this one. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, share. My social media is my other profiles throughout social medias are in the description. So yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Fortunately or unfortunately, this is the last story for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think you can see how I've gotten better since the last video, and I'm just gonna say that I'm going to keep getting better for y'all. So thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.